That is a man.
I don't know.
Oh my God!
Hello and welcome back to the most amazing channel on the internet. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate, and last year, I brought you a video called the top 10 scariest trick-or-treat stories, and I started the video wearing a spooky mask. Now, all I had in my desk today is a clown wig, and yes, I do carry a clown wig in my desk at all times. Are you scared? Is this scary? Are you terrified right now? I've got a chain around my neck. You feeling worried? No? Oh, it broke. Good. So this is the much anticipated part 2 of the scariest trick-or-treat stories, because it's that time of year again. Now before we get into this, A, I want to ask you what you're dressing for this Halloween, and B, I wanted to give you some good news about a brand new channel that we have. So, drum roll. We are translating our channel into Hindi. We have started Top 10 Hindi, where our Indian viewers can enjoy videos in their own language. We even have our very own Hindi host, and she is going to be amazing. She's going to be dropping into a few most amazing Top 10 videos as well, so you will get to meet her. If you want to subscribe to that channel, then please go ahead and do so. Even if you don't speak Hindi, it might be fun and educational to learn some. Okay, I'm going to take this wig off now because it's itchy, and you get the idea. Alright, coming into number 10, we have deadly eggs. Halloween eggings have actually led to a whole host of violence and even death over the years. In 2010, the New York Times claimed that at least 24 people had been seriously wounded or killed in stabbings or shootings that came as a result of an egg in New York alone. This was over the past 25 years, which equates to roughly one egg-related death each Halloween, but that's still one too many. So I'm going to talk about one particular incident here. Now this story comes from 1998 from the Bronx. Mr. Jackson and his girlfriend were out picking up her 9-year-old son from a kid's party. When they parked up their car ready to pick up the kid, a group of teenagers threw eggs at the car. The 21-year-old man got out and he decided to reprimand the kids. Do you know what? I'd do the same if some idiot threw an egg at my car. He told them that they were out of line and they took offense. An argument broke out, and when Mr. Jackson got back in the car, a teen pulled a gun on him and shot him in the head, killing him instantly. Statistics in the New York Times said that almost all of the people involved in violence after egg tossings are males. So boys, maybe just put those eggs down and stop being idiots. Cool, thanks. Coming into number 9, we have the McDonald's Ouija boards. McDonald's is known to give out little treats for kids in its Happy Meals. I used to love a Happy Meal. In fact, maybe I'll get a Happy Meal. Now often these treats are seasonal. For example, at Christmas, they're Christmassy. We can all enjoy that, a bit of seasonal fun. Well, one Halloween it seems that McDonald's were giving out Ouija boards in their Happy Meals as treats for kids. A post on Facebook showing the spooky Happy Meal went viral when Amy Brundy posted, "So excited for McDonald's Halloween Happy Meal this year." The post was shared 42,000 times, and people were seriously angry at the fast food chain for bringing bad juju to their precious kids. Now, the only thing was that, well, it wasn't real. Amy's post was a joke. Now, she later edited it to emphasize that it was just fun Photoshop job. She put a little winky face, and we all know a winky face means like, lol. Joke. She also did post saying, "But for all of those concerned with the future of our children, you might want to march those pitchforks and torches right on over to Toys R Us, Walmart, Target, etc. They all sell Ouija boards." Yep, that's right, they sell Ouija boards and millions of them a year. So guys, don't be mad at Mackie D's when your local toy store does give kids the ability to contact the dead, and not just during promotional Halloween periods. Coming in at number 8, we have fat shamers. Imagine sending your kid off to trick or treat, or being a kid doing the tricking and treating, and instead of getting some delicious candy from your kindly neighbours, you get a fat shaming letter written by a nasty neighbourhood wench. I actually kind of like the idea of being a nasty neighbourhood wench. I will say though, is it anything to call the police over? No, they've probably got much bigger fish to fry. A woman identifying herself as Cheryl distributed letters to larger kids in her neighbourhood in West Fargo, North Dakota. When parents dug them out of candy bags, they found that they said, "Happy Halloween and happy holidays, neighbour. You're probably wondering why your child has this note. Have you ever heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child? Your child is moderately obese and should not be consuming sugar and treats this Halloween." Eesh, harsh words. Was this fair or was this out of line? You guys let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Coming in at number 7, we have the Nana Scarers. Okay, so kids go out on Halloween and are usually trusted to walk the neighborhood with their friends. So what if your kid's friendship group is actually toxic and instead of going around collecting treats, they terrorize the neighborhood? Bad kids. In 2015, a group of youths in Manchester in the United Kingdom went trick-or-treating, and when an elderly woman answered the door to give them sweets, the gang hurled abuse at her. They said things like, "F you, old Nana." They also called her the C word. Now, she was terrified. I can't even imagine how this would feel if this was my Nana. I know she'd be so spooked. Sometimes people are too afraid to answer the door on Halloween because of the abuse they get from unruly children. If you are an unruly child or teen or anyone, just like, come on, grow up. Don't go around scaring nanas. Coming into number 6, we have sugar skulls. In October 2015, police in Jackson, Mississippi posted an image on Facebook of what looked like a whole bunch of delicious sugar candy. I imagine them tasting kind of sour and yummy. They had little skulls and colourful Superman bites, domino-shaped treats, something blue with a snake on. I would expect a sugar high from consuming all of these, but it turns out there is a different kind of high awaiting those who ingest these brightly coloured little pills. Also, if you ate more than one of them, you would likely die. These are dangerous narcotics and not candy, as the police department pointed out in their post. Whether or not someone would actually make the mistake of handing these out is up for debate. These drugs are pretty pricey, so I don't know, if someone was hellbent on poisoning kids, there would be a cheaper way to be a psycho. Website Snopes did write that the small collection of pills depicted here represents a street value of hundreds of dollars, so the notion that a neighbour would be distributing them for trick-or-treaters for no ostensible reason is rather implausible. Fair. Alright, what about this at number 5? What do you think? To this, we have marijuana edibles. Alright, this here is a lollipop. This here is a marijuana infused lollipop. Can you guys tell the difference? Marijuana is being legalized in more and more states and countries. It's legal in Canada where I live, and ways of consuming the herbal drug have evolved. People don't have to smoke pot anymore, they can eat it, and a whole bunch of products have hit the market. For example, these days you can eat weed-infused candy or candy floss. While there are a lot of studies to show that legalization of pot is a positive thing, you don't want to accidentally go giving out drug gummies to kids. This fear is increasingly strong after a kid in New Mexico brought a box of medical marijuana candy to school and handed them out to her friends. 5 of the kids got high. It was all pretty awkward. They were alright in the end though, but still, it's a fear. Coming into number 4, we have an abducted girl. In Texas in 2013, a 14-year-old was kidnapped and sexually assaulted while she was out trick-or-treating. The girl was out in her neighborhood when 2 men, 23-year-old Eric Bonilla and 28-year-old Daryl Wayne Mabry, lured her into a van and held her captive for 10 hours in a house in Houston, Texas. The next day she walked to school where she was reunited with her worried parents. Now both of the men were arrested and charged with aggravated kidnapping and sexual assault of a child. If you're out in a group with your friends this Halloween, don't leave anyone on their own, make sure someone's always accountable. Coming into number 3, we have some serious candy rage. The morning after Halloween night in 2011, Maria Adams was killed in the south side of Chicago over a dispute about a missing bag of Halloween candy. The 49-year-old was attacked when her 55-year-old male friend accused her of stealing a bag of candy from his home. Like, dude, you're 55, who cares? Go out and buy some more. It's the beauty of being an adult. The man became enraged and thought that she was lying about the missing sweets. Now it seems that the candy was more important to the man than his friend's life, and he stabbed her several times with steak knives. She was pronounced dead at the hospital and the man was charged with first-degree murder. I actually have no words for this really, like over a bag of candy. I would say get a grip, but clearly there's something much deeper going on here. Coming into number 2, we have the horrifying tale of Taylor Van Dyst. On the night of October the 31st, 2011, a young woman dressed as a zombie was abducted and killed as she left her house to go trick-or-treating with her friend at a Halloween party. 18-year-old Taylor Van Dyke became distressed on her walk to meet her friend. At first, her friend thought that she was pranking her when she texted to say that she was being followed. When she didn't show up to meet her, she then realised it was pretty serious. Now, a few hours later, police were looking for her, and Taylor was found still in costume, bleeding with severe injuries by the side of a railroad track in British Columbia in Canada. The woman died in hospital, and the town that she was from was absolutely horrified. Eventually, the perpetrator was arrested. A man named Matthew Forrester admitted that he snatched her with the intent of raping her, but the attack had gone wrong. The man was found guilty of murder and is serving a life sentence. Okay, so this list has been pretty intense, and I wanted to bring it back to the spirit of Halloween and end on something scary but isn't actually going to harm you or kill you. Finally, coming into number 1, we have the 17th Door. Now, this is the scariest haunted house in the world. Part of the Halloween or trick-or-treat season is the joy of going to a spooky haunted house. I recently went to an awesome one at Casa Loma in Toronto, which was absolutely terrifying. It seems though the world has decided upon the most terrifying spooky house of them all. 17th Door is the psychotic brainchild of Robbie and Heather Luther. The pair opened up a haunted house in Orange County, California in 2015, and you actually have to sign a waiver before you go in. Also, it's so intense that there is a safe word in place. The house changes theme each year, but the experience is immersive and the actors can and will touch you or cut you. Deranged, disgusting and deplorable, the haunted house is designed for maximum fear. Now, the 2017 waiver claimed, if you sit in the barber chair, your hair will get cut. And will was in capitals, so I think it's happening. If anyone was wondering what the safe word is, it's mercy. Of the 25,000 visitors 17th Door had in 2015, 3,800 of them called mercy, which is in excess of 1 in 10 people. Could you guys handle it? Honestly, I'm not sure if I could. If it was just spooks, maybe. But if there was anything tightly enclosed spacey, I wouldn't like that. I really wouldn't. So guys, why don't you leave me a comment and let me know what scares you the most? Is it an enclosed space? Is it a spooky clown? Is it a little girl ghost? I can't wait to read them. Speaking of comments, I want to read some comments from one of my recent videos, the Scary Los Angeles Urban Legends. Now, one of you guys asked me why I wasn't talking about the vampires. You said they rarely talk about them. They used to live in these old MHP in the Valley and Glendale Burbank areas. Oh my goodness, is anyone from around there? Have you seen vampires? Is this like a Sunnydale Buffy the Vampire Slayer thing? Let me know. The Gillums wrote, please Rebecca, can we get a shout out to the Gillums? We are your biggest fans. Also, get well soon. When I read that, I was like, what? I'm fine. But then I realised I filmed this video a while back in the summer when I'd broken my toe. And it is all healed now, but thank you all for the love. And yay for toes. There was a look at mine. Thanks! It's probably time to get out of here and stop being a creep. Who needs a scary clown wig to be a creep? Not me. So do leave a thumbs up on this video, share it with a friend, stay subscribed for most amazing lists, and check out Top 10 Hindi. You'll love it. Bye!